You know those movies that you definitely watched as a kid, but you don't remember anything about? For me, that was the infamous Blair Witch Project. So I rewatched it 2 decades later. And the verdict, it holds up well. It's a good horror film. I think the actors did a solid job, especially for such an improv-heavy movie. I was dialed in the whole time for what might come off as a boring-ass movie to others, so that's a positive. And yeah, there's some stupid moments, for example, like the one that has set off the entire chain of events for their demise or whatever.
I like to kick people's butts.
Fun movie, regardless. I took notes while watching the movie, and this is literally what I had written down by the end of it. I stand by it. So in an effort to finish the series, I decided to watch the 2016 sequel, Blair Witch, and the verdict, guilty on all charges. It's not a horrible film, but it's a one and done for sure. It's a barrel of frustration. It's just jump scare cues from the most innocuous things. Oh, my friend entered the tent after it was quiet for a bit. Nobody is by me. I am alone in the woods. It's a good thing that all these branches and leaves on the floor and the absolute dead silence in the woods protect me from being snuck up on. Well, anyways, time to turn around. Because for some reason, some people think that if we don't constantly make you jump, we have failed our job as a horror film. AKA, we didn't fucking watch the original. It also doesn't help that Arthritic Salt Bay is the cameraman for this movie, and I was gonna leave it at that until I realized that there was actually a Blair Witch sequel before the 2016 sequel, which I've never heard of. Book of Shadows, Blair Witch 2, which, Jesus, what a 2000 title. Who directed this? Mokuba? This was released a little over a year later from the original, which is a pretty quick turnaround. And then everyone discovered why that turnaround was so quick.
They teach it at junior colleges, I bet that even you could get into.
Oh yeah, and how did you get into yours? You have to brush your teeth?
But while watching this, I kept thinking, why would the people behind such a passion project like the original Blair Witch set up a squatty potty and pinch out a sequel like this? Well, the truth is, they didn't. You see, the group behind the original had sold all the distribution rights to film studio Artisan Entertainment for their initial release. And after its success, Artisan wanted to strike while the iron was hot. So basically, hey, this movie's doing numbers right now. Yeah, we're actually really proud of it. I just love that so many people enjoy a lot of the cinematography and just a lot of the thought that we put into everything. Yeah. You should make another, like now. But the original group did not have this plan. They wanted to wait for the buzz to die down to really get started on a sequel. So basically, Artisan, being the understanding distribution company that they are, said, hey, we understand, but oh, they're not a distribution company. I'm fucked. So Artisan said, hey, we understand. We do. But we do own the rights, so eat a dick. And not only that, stop it. They tried to dip their crusty, musty, dusty fingers into the original Blair Witch Project. And thankfully, their efforts were futile. I unfortunately can't say the same for part 2, which they ended up just completely going against the director's vision, who wanted more of a psychological horror. And they were like, yeah, that's cute. That's really cool. We like that. You take classes in college for that? That's awesome. Can you put in some booms and some bombs in there? Seriously though, Artisan finagled in more traditional horror elements, which, completely goes against why the original succeeded to begin with. We all know that, right? They didn't know that. I think they did. They're stupid and money hungry. And it didn't matter because it was still considered a flop when it was released, even though it made its money back. I mean, can you imagine what the original would be if it had in jump scares and flashy murder scenes and shitty effects when it's such an just bare bones improv heavy movie? And if you happen to be curious, in 2013, the original guys behind the Blair Witch Project wanted to create a sequel. That got fucked in every way possible, so it didn't happen. But thankfully, in 2016, Lionsgate, who bought Artisan Entertainment in 2003 and also bought all their properties, everything they had, they said, oh, you got Blair Witch? Cool. We're gonna put that one in our back pocket right here. They released another sequel that once again had no contribution from the original group. Completely different. So the guys behind this, and listen, I'm not talking about this like this is some foreign concept in the movie industry or any industry for that matter, right? Everybody's getting fucked. It's just crazy to think that the guys behind such an iconic movie now have to look at their movie and be like, we got a trilogy. And we had nothing to do with part 2 and part 3. I hope they still got paid, but They didn't. Spoiler alert. Man, F's in chat. Let's talk about Book of Shadows a bit. But first, now this is our sponsor. I'll tell you it now. Hunt a Killer is the sponsor for today's video. I couldn't really nail the cadence, so we're just gonna have to deal with that. Hey, do you like escape rooms? Yes. Do you like pandemics? No? Then look no further than my horror subscription game that is actually set in the Blair Witch universe. I know, how topical are you, Gigi? Hunt a Killer is today's sponsor, and I set this up as a date night between me and my girl. I turned on the lights, I played some ominous music, and now she's pregnant. I'm joking, we just went full out detective mode. We had an entire package with documents and evidence, secrets, and an entire mystery for us to solve. What happened to Rosemary Kent's son? It's a dope gif if you're the type of person who just always gives people cards. Yes, I'm looking at you. Hunt a Killer's murder mystery game has over 100,000 active subscribers and 2,000 5-star reviews. They do not mess around. Here's some of the high IQ notes that I was taking while we were figuring out the mystery. I had to blur it because I can't share secrets with you, obviously. So right now you can go to huntakiller.com/MistaGigi and use code MistaGigi for 20% off. That's code MistaGigi for a 20% discount. Link is also in the description. This movie is a meta masterpiece. It's set in the world where everyone is aware that the Blair Witch Project was a movie, so it follows a hysteria afterwards and a group of buggos that go out to the woods. Jeffrey here gives out Blair Witch tours to the woods overnight, and they found it very important to show you that he used to be in a mental hospital where they poured chicken broth on his cortex. I literally don't know what's happening here. I don't think these motherfuckers did either. I don't really get the point of this exactly. Is this supposed to be an accurate portrayal of mental hospitals? Is this just supposed to be, oh, mental hospitals are fucking nuts, right? I mean, I guess you know those loony bins always hosing down patients because that's worth the cleanup. I will cross this motherfucker up. You have to understand my confusion when the movie starts and we're shown news footage, followed by local testimonials, followed by some creepshow ass hospital scene, followed by opening credits, followed by an interrogation scene, followed by the actual movie. That's also excluding the quick flash murder snippets during the credits. How exciting. So, everybody's there for a different reason, right? Tristan, I don't know how to say her stupid name. I want to say Tristan, but it's not Tristan, it's Tristan. I'm thinking of like Yu-Gi-Oh! I think as I mentioned Mokuba earlier. Tristan and Steven are writing a book about it. Erica is a Wiccan and wants to vibe the fuck out with the witch. Kim just liked the movie. And Jeffrey's our tour guide. They have this scene at night where they're all drinking, smoking, discussing the Blair Witch, lobbing out conspiracy theories, and I mean, whoa. Remember when I paid for this movie? This guy looks like Stifler's brother trying to imitate Pete Davidson.
Video never lies, Kim. Film does, though.
I mean, he kind of just looks like every black-haired male lead. I just wanted to point out that he talks like Pete Davidson. Is that Pete Davidson? They all black out and everything's destroyed in the morning. Oh, I also forgot to mention that Tristan is pregnant. Tristan has a miscarriage because she was like 40 millers deep like 3 hours ago. Everyone here well aware she was pregnant beforehand. This must have been Plan C. Doctors told them that it wasn't even her blood alcohol content that caused the miscarriage. It was literally the fact that she chose Miller Lite, the worst fucking beer on earth. But it's okay because Jeffrey gives her a free hat from his tour to cheer her up.
That's for you. Gratis.
I feel better.
This movie unfortunately banks on the twist at the end, and it's just not that good a twist. There's not really a whole lot of misdirection during the movie. The movie never really stops pointing at the hidden antagonist. It's Tristan, by the way. And worse than that, you remember the interrogation scene I brought up? Yeah, we got General Commanderitis on this one, because we randomly flash back to interrogation scenes throughout the movie, and the more you see, the more it's obvious that these guys are boned. There's no way they get out of this. Something was clearly manipulated at some point. And it wasn't supposed to be that way. Artisan, remember Artisan? We talked about Artisan. They didn't like that all the interrogation scenes were initially at the end of the movie. So they just went full casting couch and said, spread them. And ironically, it ended up being butt, which I hate because I can't imagine it was worse the other way around. This movie's not a complete dud. It does start off terribly, but it does get better. The actors do have some solid moments, and overall, it's a fun doo-doo-ass movie. As I say every so often, it's a very Netflix and bangable movie. Once we're all vaccinated, of course. I should make that a series where I talk about movies you can half pay attention to while missing a solid 15 minutes. Okay, 10 minutes. And to officially complete the BWCU, I played the 2019 Blair Witch game on stream last week, which somehow ended up being the Blair Witch media that represented the Blair Witch the best, because it wasn't senseless jump scares, it was a psychological slap around that sometimes was just follow the leader, But overall, was worth the experience and a small time dedication. What I'm trying to say here is that overall, if you haven't seen the original and you fancy yourself a bit of horror, watch it. And you can skip the other two, the game's okay. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like. Here is your second reminder to please leave a like. Please subscribe because I have more content coming your way. Shout out to my beautiful patrons for supporting the boy. These are their names. You see it. And shout out to Christine for retweeting my last video tweet. And hey, you should also subscribe to Mr. GG Live. These have been the last 3 videos I've uploaded. Haha, hoo hoo. A lot of fun. And as always, I am Mr. GG and I am out.